You know the routine. You work your 40 hours, maybe 50, you pay the rent, you put gas in the car, you buy the groceries that seem to cost 20% more than they did last year, you skip the expensive latte, you pack your lunch, you feel like you're doing everything right, but then the end of the month comes. You open your banking app praying there's something left over, and what do you see? The exact same number you saw last month, maybe even less. It's exhausting. For the longest time, I thought I was just bad at math, or maybe I just wasn't smart enough to figure out this money thing. I'd see these guys on the internet talking about passive income and crypto millions, and I'm over here just trying to figure out how to save up for a new set of tires without putting it on a credit card. It felt like the system was rigged, and honestly, it kind of is, but recently I learned something that changed my entire perspective. It's not that you're bad with money. It's that the math of building wealth is completely uneven. There is a specific reason why the rich get richer while doing less work and why you feel stuck in the mud. It's because the hardest part of the entire financial journey isn't making your first million. It's saving your first $10,000. And until you understand why this specific milestone is so difficult, you're going to keep feeling like you're pushing a square boulder uphill. This concept is called the velocity of money. When you have $0 saved, your money has zero velocity. It isn't moving on its own. Every single dollar you accumulate has to come from your direct physical labor. You trade an hour of your life, you get 20 bucks. That's it. But the problem isn't just earning the money, it's keeping it. When you are in that $0 to $10,000 range, you are fighting against what I call financial gravity. The closer you are to zero, the stronger the gravity pulls you down. Think about it. When you have nothing saved, every minor inconvenience becomes a financial crisis. Your car needs a new alternator? That's $600 you don't have. Bam, credit card debt. You get sick and miss 2 days of work? Bam, you're behind on utilities. You spend your entire life treading water, just trying to keep your nose above the surface. You take one step forward with a paycheck, and life pushes you 2 steps back with an unexpected expense. This is why that first $10,000 feels impossible. You aren't just saving, you're constantly bailing water out of a leaking boat. And then there's the biggest trap of them all. The one society tells us is totally normal, but is actually the number one thing keeping the average person broke: the car payment. We've normalized the idea that as soon as you get a decent job, you need to sign up for a $600 or $700 a month car payment for the next 7 years. We think it's a sign of success. It's not. It's financial handcuffs. Think about the math of that first $10,000 again. If you are trying to save up, that $600 a month you send to the dealership is the exact capital you need to build your foundation. You are taking your seed money and setting it on fire for the privilege of driving a depreciating asset to a job you probably don't even like. But listen, I'm not just here to depress you. There is good news. The math does flip. There is a tipping point where the game changes completely. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, famously said the first $100,000 is a total struggle, but you have to do it, because after that, the money starts working for you. Let's look at compound interest. This is where the magic happens, but it only works if you have something to compound. If you manage to claw your way to your first $10,000 and you invest it in a basic index fund, getting an average 8% return, guess what? At the end of the year, you made $800. I know, it's underwhelming. You busted your back for a year to save that $10,000, and your reward is basically enough to buy a lukewarm coffee once a day. It feels pointless. This is where most people quit. They say investing doesn't work, and they buy the new car instead. But if you keep pushing, if you ignore the traps and you get that snowball rolling until you hit $100,000, That same 8% return isn't $800 anymore. It's $8,000. Think about that. Your money just went out and earned 8 grand while you were sleeping. That's a decent used car. That's an amazing vacation. Your money is finally pulling its own weight. The first $10,000 is 99% hard labor and 1% interest. By the time you hit 6 figures, the math starts doing the heavy lifting. But knowing the math doesn't magically put money in your pocket. We know the first $10,000 is the hardest, but how do we actually cross that gap without waiting 10 years? I've realized there are 3 specific levers we have to pull to speed up this velocity of money. And none of them involve getting lucky on a lottery ticket. Lever number 1 is building the gravity shield. Remember earlier when I said a flat tire resets your progress to 0? That happens because we are fighting naked. We have no armor. Before you worry about investing in the stock market, you need a boring, unsexy emergency fund of $1,000 to $2,000. This isn't wealth, this is a shield. When the car breaks down, you don't swipe the credit card, which digs the hole deeper, you use the shield. You patch the hole in the boat without sinking. This stops the cycle of debt that keeps 90% of people stuck at 0. Lever number 2 is attacking the big 3. Most financial advice tells you to stop buying $5 lattes, and sure, that helps. But if you're trying to save $10,000, cutting coffee is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. You have to look at the 3 things that actually steal your paycheck: housing, food, and transportation. This brings us back to that car payment. If you can drive a paid-off beater for 2 years while your friends drive new leases, you are effectively paying yourself that $700 a month. That is $8,400 a year. That is almost the entire $10,000 milestone achieved just by making one sacrifice on your car. It's not about suffering forever. It's about suffering for a short time so you can be free for a long time. And lever number 3, removing the human. This is the biggest hack I've found. The problem with saving money is that we're the ones trying to do it, and as humans, we are emotional. We see money in the checking account and our brain says, I have extra money, I can buy that thing. You have to automate the struggle. Set up an automatic transfer the day you get paid. The money should move from your checking account to a separate high-yield savings account before you even wake up. If you can't see it, you can't spend it. You force yourself to live on what's left over. It sounds simple, but this is how you turn a boulder into a snowball. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on a system. Because the truth is, the system is designed to keep you consuming. Every ad, every billboard, every notification is trying to take that money out of your pocket before it can gain any velocity. Your job is to build a wall around that first $10,000 and defend it with your life. So if you feel stuck right now, I want you to know it's not you. It's the math of the beginning. It's supposed to be hard. You are fighting gravity. I'm not a guru sitting on a pile of millions telling you it's easy. I'm right here in the trenches with you. I'm tired of the traps, and I'm tired of the system draining my wallet before I even get paid. On this channel, we're going to document the real journey of getting past that tipping point. No scams, no complex nonsense, just an average guy figuring out how to beat the financial game. If that sounds like something you need, hit subscribe. Let's start pushing that boulder together.